This week is all about Jesus and it's all about jazz. It's about Jesus because, as the message says, God, the Word, became flesh and blood and moved into the neighbourhood. We gain our identity and strength as Christians from the life, death, resurrection of Jesus. But more than that, his incarnation gives us like this way of life to follow. The good news is a dynamic walking alongside other people, not just a declaration from outside of their lives. It involves speaking, but it assumes relationship. Jesus shows us that the gospel is not something to defend, it is something which is on the move, actively seeking new people to find a home in and new ways to express itself. The Guinness World Records has the song Yesterday by the Beatles as being the most covered of all time. They say there exists over 1,600 recorded versions of the same song, yet if you were to switch any of those versions on now, you would recognise it to be the same song. There might be different arrangements, different instruments, different voices, tempos, contrasts and genres, but you would still find yourself humming the same tune. Jazz musicians are familiar with this. Jazz is about improvising on a standard, taking a core melody and expressing yourself over the top of it, but always returning to the anchor. A missional community is like jazz. Our anchor is that Jesus lived, died, and rose again so that we could be reconciled to God, reconciled to each other, reconciled with ourselves, and reconciled to this broken but beautiful world that we live in. But how we express those truths need to change all the time. Just like jazz, but instead of instruments, there'll be new technologies, new ways of communicating, new government policies, new cultural ways of thinking, and we have the joy of improvising an age-old score as the world changes around us. It's a dynamic opportunity to embrace what is to come while we're fueled by what has been. So this week you'll be looking at some stories from the life of Jesus and asking simply, how did he live his life? And then what does that mean for some of the particular context that you find yourself in? What does it mean if you hang out with addicts? Or if you're in the middle of a middle class neighbourhood? Or your office? Or you run a business together? If you're facilitating this group, you're looking for potential cultural values gleaned from the life of Jesus. Ways of Jesus that hold you together which can be imagined for a life lived inside your mission. There aren't any prizes for biblical fluency or right answers. You're looking for parts of a melody that flow straight into the heart of your group.